You are welcome to the Naija Filmmaker, a podcast about Nigerian filmmakers, their films, and how we can build a diverse and functional industry. I'm your host, Selegot. On this episode, my guest is Temitope Dada, aka Oluwadabest, a TV commercial director. He has worked with brands like Octa FX, Cheaper Cash, and Piggy Vest. He was a nominee for the Future Award Prize for Film in 2022. We talk about his early days learning graphic design, components of a winning pitch, and his hopes for Nigerian filmmakers. If you're a new listener, you're welcome and I hope you enjoy. Hi, Dabest. You're welcome to the Naija Filmmaker.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Can you introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Dada Temitope. That's my government name. But most people know me as Oluwadabest. I'm a TV commercial director. I'm a television commercial director. And I also direct documentaries alongside running a production company in Lagos, Nigeria. Yeah, but getting the opportunity to work within the country and outside, directing for different brands and organizations. And it's been an interesting 3 years journey, strictly directing.
Yeah. Okay, so talk to us about how you got started in your creative endeavors.
So for the longest time since I knew myself, I knew I was a creative. I've always I grew up loving electrical stuff. I'm one of those kids that would try to loosen the radio to see what's inside the radio to find out why it is talking.
Yeah.
And then I think it was when I was almost out of primary school that GSM became a thing. So I was one of the people that would go and hide with my mom's phone somewhere, and just try to figure out what is making this thing receiving and talking to people that we cannot see. So I grew up with that curiosity till out of secondary school. And when I got out of secondary school, we all know that break in Nigeria where you have to write all the exams that you need to write before you get into university. And so I had this long waiting period trying to write exams, passing the exams, but I wasn't getting admission, or I was getting the wrong course of study and all that. So during that waiting period, that was when cyber cafe became a thing in Nigeria. And I got the opportunity to know someone that owned a cyber cafe. And I was helping the person sell tickets. But in the process of selling tickets, I had unlimited access to the internet. So I could check anything. I could waste my time all day just browsing. And when people were using money to buy tickets, I had unlimited access to it. So it was that period I found out about graphic design, and I started doing graphic design. So I was learning about graphic design I was self-taught. I was learning online, and I was implementing the things I learned online back into just designing stuff for church, designing stuff for brands. And that was what I did till I got admission into University of Lagos. And when I got admission into University of Lagos, I needed something that would make me more money. Graphic design wasn't that profitable then. It was profitable, but it was not something that would sustain me in school, because at that time, I already lost my mom, who was my major financier.
Yeah.
So I needed to finance myself through school. That was when I picked up photography. So picking up photography was, this is something that I can make money from, and it will not affect my education. It means I can go to shoot events during the weekend, because events was majorly weekends then, and during the week I can be in school just studying. So I did that for a couple of years. I think it was 200 level. Then I got bored of photography. Then from getting bored of photography, I got to find out there's something called cinematography that I could also explore. So I gradually just transitioned from photography into just shooting wedding films, shooting documentaries, shooting short brand content and all that. And I figured I loved it more than photography, so I sold all my photography gears. I gave some out for free, just so that I'm not tempted to go back to photography again. Then that was what I was doing before COVID hit. So I think that's been my creative journey into the like motion picture videography space so far.
Yeah, maybe. So you mentioned, you're helping out at this cyber cafe, and you started learning graphic design. What year was this?
This should be around 2009 to like 2012.
So,
Because I finished secondary school 2009,
yeah.
and I knew I like started working at that cyber cafe like SS3. So it was like just immediately before finishing secondary school into like 2 years of writing jam. Yeah.
Okay. So, by any chance, did you learn with YouTube, or how did you, pick up?
I can't even remember how I learned then. So I think it was majorly just I saw Corel. You know that time there used to be like CDs. You buy CorelDRAW CDs.
Yeah.
It's not like you download and install. It's like you go and buy a Computer Village. So I think someone brought CorelDRAW for me to help them install on their laptop, if I remember well. And I just mistakenly just installed it on the server system to just figure what's this CorelDRAW that they're installing. And that's when I now started playing with like shapes, fonts. Then I now figured, oh, this is what they used to do flyers. So it was not really YouTube. It was like me seeing different flyers on the road, then pick it and try to replicate that design. And YouTube wasn't like that big for learning as at that time. I mean, we're talking 2009. Yeah, that's like when Yahoo Messenger was a thing.
Yeah.
So like YouTube. I guess there was YouTube, but I'm not sure it was like
There's no
popping.
content.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
like content on it then.
Yeah. Okay. So you said it was, just before COVID that you made the switch to motion picture, cinematography, and all that.
Yeah, no, yeah, like 2 years before COVID, it was my 200 level in Unilag. I made the switch. I remember well.
You mentioned doing weddings and other jobs. So for you now, standing where you are, like with all the experience you have, like how formative were those years, shooting weddings, especially with the pressure that comes with this kind of events?
Yeah, so like I used to tell people that one of the best ways to learn filmmaking, if you're not going to film school, is to go to learn via the event route. Because there you will learn everything. You learn to be a director, you learn to be a gaffer yourself. I mean, using natural light to your best, to the best of your abilities. You learn to work under pressure. You learn to like you literally have to get that shot. If you don't get that shot, that's the end of that shot. You're not going to tell the pastor to come back again and join them. Or you're not going to tell the pastors to tell them and say, can you tell them to kiss each other again? It's not going to happen. It's only going to happen once. So that doing that will put you on your toes, and you cannot afford to shoot at the wrong ISO at that point, or afford to miss that shot. So those things will help you learn faster, and it will give you like real time. And the beautiful thing about events is you go back and go and edit yourself, so you can see all the mistakes that you've made. And when you're shooting the next event, you're trying to avoid those mistakes. So it was like a learning curve for me. Like this Saturday, you learn that if you shoot if you slow down 50 a 25 frames image, it's going to look terrible. So next week you go and shoot 50 frames and try to slow it down. Okay, you can only slow 50 frame down by half, like you can only slow it down to a large extent. So you know that if I want a little bit more slow motion, okay, then I have to do this. Then you try and shoot like you run shorter speed, you see the effect. So it was like a tutorial class. My apologies to all the weddings I shot.
Yeah.
But it was more like a tutorial class for me. It was like, okay, you explore this thing this Saturday, and okay, we'll shoot against the sun this thing. Let's see. Oh, it's more silhouette this time. Okay, next time we'll use the sun as our key light. You get, so all those things were like formative years for me, especially in filmmaking. Was that period where I was experimenting these things, and they were working. And Yeah, so that wedding scene, like I tell people, is like one of the best place to learn if you cannot afford a film school. I mean, if you can afford a film school, go and learn the tutorial, the theoretical and the practical part. Yes, please go. But if you can't, if you find yourself in the event environment, then that's one of the best places to learn as a filmmaker, because you are literally everything. You are the gaffer, you are the DP, you are the AC, you are the you are everything.
Yeah.
Because you literally just have to get that shot. You cannot go and tell your clients that, oh, you're eating, that's why you did not shoot at this particular time, or your battery was low and you couldn't get that shot, and you're also the producer. You are thinking of, oh, for me to film this event perfectly, I need maybe a 3 camera. Oh, okay, I need 2 other people to assist me. So it's like you're learning the entire film production aspect, but you're learning it in a small scale. So when it was time to scale bigger, it almost feels like I was not working, because I was used to being the one holding the camera. Then now, okay, I'm a director, I don't have to hold the camera again. Does it mean I don't need the camera? Like, all those things were like things that wedding taught. I learned just shooting weddings and shooting events.
Yeah. Okay. So you talked about learning from practice, but you also like are encouraging people that if they can go to film school because the theory is important. So for you,
Yeah.
when did you pick up the theory, and how fundamental is the theory to actually doing great cinematographic work?
So yeah, like I said, the theory is very important. I mean, it's one of the best things that I would say happened to my career, learning like the theory. Because I mean, when I transitioned from photography to film, it was me just experimenting and saying, in photography, I used to shoot 1/125 shutter speed so that it's not a blurry picture. Then in film, if you shoot below 1/50 shutter speed, then it is blurry and all that. Then the motion blur is terrible and all that. So it was just those experimental phase for me until I got an opportunity to be in a like proper, it was not a film school, but it was a cinematography class. So there was, while we're shooting weddings, there was this guy that usually just scattered the whole online environment with content. We're all like doing basic things that we knew how to do, and we're putting good stuff, at least good enough to get us booked for the next event.
Yeah.
But there was this guy that was just doing something exceptional, and it was crazy. So his name is Timmy Davis, by the way. So I bought, and every time he posts stuff, it was awesome to just watch. It was like almost like, is this same wedding now? Why isn't the same Canon camera? So why is your own result different from mine? And that's where knowledge comes in. So he at a point he made a post that I wanted to like train some set of people. So I applied to join the class, and that was when I got opportunity to be in a proper cinematography class. Then we'll now start dealing with theory. So you now start seeing that, oh, this is why this person is getting this result and I'm not getting. Yes, we both use the same gear, we both approach, we both have like almost the same environment to film, but there's just something that happens when you have knowledge, when you have knowledge about something that is different from someone that is just experimenting.
Yeah.
So when you're experimenting with knowledge, you tend to achieve more results. So that was what happened to me. That class just opened my eyes to see the possibility that is available to us, even not just to the creative aspect, even the business aspect of cinematography. Before then, I used to think directors were like very lazy. Like, why do you say a director when you're not the one holding the camera?
Yeah.
That was my mindset before that. Then I was like, the guy holding the camera is literally the one doing everything. You're just sitting on one chair and saying you're a director. That class just opened my eyes to see that the director is just the brain behind the production. Because you're holding the camera does not mean that you have the whole picture in your mind. There's someone that has the whole picture that needs to put everything together, that needs to ensure that everything that he wants to achieve is what he eventually achieves on the film set. So that class just opened my mind to the possibility that is available to the regular filmmaker. And from that class, everything just changed for me, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned, at some point you thought some directors were lazy and all that. So what does, stepping back and, just fully owning that director role, like what does it, and what clarity does it give you, and how does it help productions, once the director is kind of focused just on their job?
So I mean, one of the things I learned off that class is literally that what I've been doing all my life has been majorly directing and other things. Yeah, so when you shoot weddings, you are the one that have like the idea of what's the story you're trying to tell. You are the one that is going to plot how many cameras you need to tell the story. You are the one that is going to like figure out how many team members you need to bring on board. Which kind of look and feel do you want this wedding to have? Um, what sound are you looking at using for this particular wedding film? Which is literally like you are the brain work of the project, and which is what directing is all about. Is you're like the one that has like the full idea in your head. Every other person just have a fragment of that. The DP just has like what the picture needs to look like in his head. Made primarily, he might have an idea of the story, but his own focus is just to figure out how this picture is going to be best. The sound guy also just has an idea of how he wants to create the sound that will feel that will fill in the mood that you want the film to have. But as a director, you are the one that has like the overview of everything, and you need to sit on that table to be able to see that overview just become a reality. Because
Yeah.
if you miss that, you've lost your job as a director. To be honest, every other person will move to the next project. They are going to hire them because I mean they will shoot great pictures regardless.
Yeah.
But if the project is trash, it's still trash. It's just trash with good pictures. You get. So um just that class made me understand that, oh, what I've been doing for the longest of time is directing, but I've just been directing and also being the DP, directing and also being the sound guy. Okay, now there's now a bigger project that I don't have to be the DP or be the sound guy. I just have to sit as a director and ensure that every other department functions well and they achieve what I want them to achieve.
Okay. So, at what point did your big break happen?
So I would say like it was immediately after COVID. So like I was saying earlier on, it was all leading to a fast and run life, a very, very like predictable future until COVID happened and events stopped. There was no
Yeah.
events. So there was literally no source of income apart from minor contents that we're shooting. So it was that time me and some couple of friends that I live with had to re-strategize and just started focusing on self-development. It was that COVID period we started experimenting lights, started writing like some short stories to film and see how it looked. We'll edit, we'll analyze, we'll go back again, try some other lighting patterns.
Yeah.
It was that period was just like self-development period for us. And immediately COVID stopped, we got an opportunity to go outside the country to shoot an announcement commercial for a brand, and it became a thing. And from that job, the next job happened. Someone was on the board of decision of for a commercial, and my name came up, and they saw my work, and everybody just agreed, oh, let's use this guy. And that job, they all agreed for um they all agreed to use me. It was the Octa FS commercial that I shot,
Yeah.
and that blew up beyond. It blew up beyond what I even envisaged. And when I got the brief, I knew it was a mad project, yeah. But I didn't see it as a project that everybody would just. I mean, we're in the Nigerian market. I didn't know people would get crazy about transitions like that. I
Yeah.
didn't know people would. I didn't like. We're so used to like mediocre commercials that I didn't know that commercial would people understand it. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
That it's easier to do a simple commercial and just somebody talking and explaining things to people. When it comes to a commercial where it is self-explanatory, it needed to be perfect for people to understand. I knew creatives were like, I mean, the transitions and how we interpret it and all that, but I didn't know the general market would get it. And it was just like me and I didn't even see now. I only just saw that project, to be honest. I only just wanted that project to be successful.
Yeah.
And that's me with every of my job. I only just go into the job to make sure that this is successful. I'm not going into the job because of the next project or because of the one after that. I'm only just going to fully interpret this, let the clients be happy, and satisfy my own creative desires too. So that was what I took into the project. And when the project came out and the reception was great, I was surprised, because at some point I was like, what do you people actually want like about this commercial? Because to be honest, immediately the commercial dropped, I started seeing a lot of things I could have done better on the commercial.
Yeah.
But I guess many people did not see that, so they love the commercial, and till today I still get referrals off that project.
That's the most important thing. Just focus on that one job, and things could come out of it. At this point, I'll ask, like, what's your director for TV commercials? For you, what is your best TV commercial of all time? Do you have one?
Should I answer like should I give you a media answer or give you like a real answer?
No, let's keep it real.
Real answer is I don't think I have the best. I have some that I like.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have the best, because I think what happens to me most time is after the project is out, I now start to see things I could have done better on the project. Then I begin to not like it as much as I used to like it anymore. You get so like the media answer will be my next project is my best project. But I mean the next project is not out yet. So far, if I'm going to pick the two that I like most, it will be the Octa FX project. So I can't do two, I can do three. Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine, yeah?
Yeah.
To be the Octa FX project, the cheaper Burna Boy commercial, and the Pocket Irasta commercial.
Nice.
These are like my three. Because if I'm going to pick my style, I'm going to pick my style from those three commercials.
Yeah. Okay. It's one thing to do one job, and it's another thing for the client to keep coming back. For you, how do you kind of maintain that ongoing relationship with the client, and how do you try to keep things fresh?
That's a serious question. That's a very, very interesting one. So for me, like I do say or tell people that relationship is key. Every other thing is a byproduct of relationship. As creatives, most times we focus on being creative. We focus on trying to be that creative that we are, and forget that business is also like like a very, very huge part of our creative process. So for me, I like to keep relationship like very professional and very I don't like to finish a job and this is even before I started directing commercials.
Yeah.
Even from my photography days, I still like have contacts of my clients that were like my clients when I was a graphic designer that still reached out to me sometime earlier this year asking if I can make logo for them. That's I'm saying someone that I did logo for in like 2012.
Yeah.
And that's like me after changing almost 3 careers. So like I like to keep relationship. I like to foster relationship. I don't like to end things badly. So even if the project isn't successful or isn't the perfect interpretation of what we want it to be, I still like to like keep and not like make them friends and chat with them every day. No, I don't do that with my clients. But like I like to like leave like the opportunities open, that every time we see each other we remember that we created something amazing together, even beyond creating that, we built a bond in doing that. So I mean, for example, even though I don't like calls, I'm not a call me person. If my client calls me, I pick my call because they are paying me. Even though I'm not very good with text, replying text and all that, which I even prefer over call. But if my client should text me, I reply. Like I used to tell people, it's better to reply and tell them what is happening than to not say anything, because you not saying anything is leaving everything to their imagination.
Yeah.
So even at times when we have a project and the edit is taking time, I communicate. I tell the client, oh, this is what is happening right now. I'm at the editor's place. We're having a little bit of issue and we're trying to fix it. But I just let them know that their project is priority to me. And that's like my work ethic. When I'm working, I communicate to my clients. I let them know if there's any issue, and if there's no issue, if I had given them my words that I would deliver on so and so date, I deliver. And if I can't deliver on that date, I send them a message before that day. I
Yeah.
don't send them a message on that day and say, oh, I'm sorry, we can't deliver again today. I send them before that day because as creative, we can tell if your deadline is not going to be any near the deadline. You can tell from like 2 days before that time that, oh, maybe I'm supposed to send a treatment down to an agency,
Yeah.
and like 2 days before my deadline, I already feel like there's nowhere this creativity is coming from. I send him a message, oh, your project is I'm working on your project, but right now there's a lot on my table. Can you please give me like a few more days to wrap up, and I'll get it to you on or before this date. So
Yeah.
I try even when I postpone dates like that, I try to deliver the next day I'm giving them, or earlier before that time, so that it's not like every time I'm making excuses and it's becoming a pattern. So communication is key for me. I communicate with my clients. I appear on time if I need to show for physical meetings, but not been doing a lot of physical meetings. If it's online, I try to get there early enough. So these are the little things that you pick up. Character is king. It's not just about being the best director out there. Can they trust you? If they
Yeah.
give you their money, would they be able to go to bed and say, oh, you are doing their work, or they have to go and involve a lawyer, or call a false person to be looking for you? So all those things are like key to me, because those are like the characters I grew up on even before I became a director. So I think that's the only way I've been able to maintain my clients, because if you check my project, it's most likely recurring clients.
Yeah.
And yes, additional would be that I'm also a creative, so the project is dope enough. There's nowhere else for them to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But beyond that, even if you are creative and your character is shit, they will look for someone else that is less creative, that won't stress them. To be honest, people don't want to be stressed. So the less you're an asshole to them, the better for you.
Yeah. Definitely. Let's say a client contacts you. Walk us through, getting the brief and the whole back and forth up until you shoot. Like how does that process normally go?
Okay, so clients reach out to me. Most times there's like two ways they reach out. All the project I've worked with, some reach out to me directly, and say, oh, the best, want to shoot this commercial. This is the script. Our agency will be in conversation with you. And so it goes away from that client to
Yeah.
me now having conversations with the agency that's involved in their marketing and branding and all that. And some, it is the agency that reached out and say, oh, we have this client that wants to take a commercial, and we think you're the one that can deliver this commercial, this vision that we have in our head, and they share the brief. So that's like the two ways. Most times they reach out to me. Once in a while, some clients try to reach out to me directly. They don't have an agency, and they just reach out and say, I want to shoot an ad for our brand. We don't have a script. Can you come up with a script? Most of the time, I tell them, oh, sorry, that's the work of a creative agency and not my work. However, I have so and so creative agencies that I've worked with, and I can trust them to deliver.
Yeah.
I'll do an introductory email, and they'll go and deal with their stuff. When they are done, they come back to me. So yeah, that's like how they reach out to me. Then from brief, when they send me a brief, I reach out to my producer. Most times we'll ask them for what's their budget, what's their ballpark budget that they're looking at for that project. Because truth be told, every client have a ballpark budget they're working with. We're in Nigeria, most times we just say, oh, we don't know, just let us know what the budget is. And
Yeah.
that's most times a orange flag. I won't say a red flag. That's an orange flag, yeah. Because once you know the budget, it's easier to like put your ideas around that budget. than try to blow up Third Milan Bridge with a 1 million naira budget, or try to build a tower with something that is less than a million naira. So most times for the successful projects we've done, they let us know the budget from the jump, and I go and create my treatment. My producer goes into costing.
Yeah.
So the producer does the costing, me, I go to do my treatment just to interpret the scripts that they have in my own way, or add my own spice to the scripts. Then we come back, I send the treatment to them. They like, or they make an adjustment where they need to. Agencies can be stubborn sometimes. They tell you, why did you change our story? We already sent this from approval. Sorry, you can't change it. So we talk ourselves through that process from the agency, and once they are satisfied with the final draft of the treatment, then we go into pre-production fully. That's when we now start hiring crew members, hiring cast, going for location recce, scouting location. Once we have that period of pre-production sorted, we go into production. And production shoots day one, shoots day two for multiple day shoots. Then from there we go into editing. I Even though I can edit, I try not to edit projects myself, because I like to have different people on project that will bring their spice just to make the project better.
Yeah.
Because I'm a sucker for collaboration. So anytime I have opportunity to collaborate with people, I'm always excited. So I like to use editors for my project. So I get the project to an editor, but even in the process of using editor, I send them an edit brief. We talk through it, probably a Zoom call, or if it's somebody I can go see physically, we have a conversation on how the edits will go.
Yeah.
Then does the first draft, send it down to me, make an adjustment, go back. Then second draft, I send to the client. They see it. If they have corrections, they send in. We adjust the corrections, lock offline edits. Then from there we go online, we go to colorist, VFX, sound design, and every other part of production. And that's like, once we have that all logged, we send it back to the clients. They like it. If they need to make adjustment, they make an adjustment. Then we go back to review and send them the final draft, and we get our balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So do clients like to work with let's say storyboards or visual? Are the treatments normally visual, or it's kind of you breaking down what you want to do?
No, the treatments are visual. Most of my projects I'm not use storyboard, because my treatment are highly visual.
Yeah.
Because in my treatments, you'll be seeing video references, how the transition is going to look like, scene to scene breakdown, pictorial. You like almost be able to see how the whole commercial flow will be like, just reading through the treatment and seeing the references there. So even from the treatment alone, we can go to shoot and have a successful shoot. But even after that, I do a short list that has like pictures, something more like a storyboard, but with pictures, real frame of how I want each frame to be.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of research that goes into my creative process of creating treatment and all that. It's not just me just writing some jargons and sending it to the client and trying to develop it. No, it's me doing a lot of research, finding similar references to things I want to achieve and putting it down in the treatment. So it's very, very complex for me.
Okay. So if you had to, categorize the different kind of key aspects of a winning treatment, what would those be?
Key aspect of a winning treatment, I would say, number one, let the first thing they see be enticing. That is your cover. Let your cover be interesting. Go hard on your cover, because that's the first thing they see. Then let your introduction be impeccable. Let them read your introduction and know that they hired the right person. And thank God these days we have like AI systems that can help you in writing your introduction better. So you can just draft your ideas into like AI, ChatGPT and all that, and allow ChatGPT to help you reform it in such a way that it is presentable. Yeah. Then your references has to be strong. You don't just pull up, for example, if the scene says the camera opens with a close-up a close-up shot of a bedside lamp. Don't just go to Google and type bedside lamp and just pick any image and just drop it there and say, oh, they say bedside lamp. No, do your research, get the best angle of a bedside lamp that you've seen in your life, like that would depict the story, and put it there. So when they see that picture, they know that, oh, this person, we can trust this person with our money, because even the pictures and the video references are creative enough.
Yeah.
You get, so there's a lot of research that needs to go into your treatment. Then 3, less words, more picture. Less words, more picture. Don't make it be too wordy. Use visuals more pictures and videos. Yeah, use pictures and video more to depict your idea than just slapping words on every page. Then lastly, be able to defend it and just explain what you're trying to achieve to the clients. At the end of the day, they've seen your reel, they know what you can do, but this is just you trying to give them a second level of trust in your ability to deliver their idea.
Yeah. Okay, so at this point, we'll take a bit of a detour. Can you mention 3 random facts about you?
Random facts about me. I check YouTube every day. There's no day since 2020 or even before then that I don't watch YouTube.
Yeah. How many hours
and
or minutes?
try to learn something new.
How many minutes or hours do you spend?
I'm not sat down to calculate that, so I don't know. But I spent a good amount of time watching stuff on YouTube. I'm just watching random stuff, not necessarily like commercials and all that. But I just try to learn something every day, something new. So every day of my life, I try to learn something new that I've not seen before, or just remind myself of something that I've seen before. So I'm a YouTube fan. Second, I don't really like movies that much.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. Maybe because I didn't grow up on like TV, heavy on TV. I grew up heavy on computers, so I only watch movie when it's overhyped or when the trailer looks interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I'll try to find out what's in the film. But like watching film is not like what I do at will.
Yeah.
Then what's the third one? I wear black a lot.
So it's not a production thing. It's just like you prefer black.
Yeah. Well, my life is largely revolving around production. Yeah. So that influences my wardrobe to a large extent. So by default, I have plenty black outfits. And so when it's time to go out, I just pick one of them.
Okay. So you have mentioned that you started from graphics, you went into photography, you did weddings, now you're doing TV ads. Basically, yeah, you like to explore new things. So what's the next frontier for you? Do you know?
I have an idea, but I don't know fully yet.
Can you share?
No, it's not what I can share. Not what I can share yet, but I have an idea of what I see myself doing when I retire off TVC. But I'm still going to be in TVC for a long time. Then I want to also explore film itself, like proper film.
Yeah.
So this year I plan to do my short film. I have a script already. It's been a fully developed script just for us to go into production. We're looking for money to execute. Yeah. So I want to just explore the short film and festival routes to see if directing a feature will be a thing. But majorly, I'm going to still be in this commercial space for a long time.
Okay.
Just working on, because to be honest, we don't have enough commercial directors in Nigeria yet that are delivering at like a global standard yet. We have new people entering the space every now and then. I'm excited for what is happening in the music video space and all that. And I wish that we can also replicate that level of professionalism and trustworthiness in the television commercial space. Yeah, a few directors are coming up, and it's interesting to see the projects that are coming out of this space, which is my goal. So I tend to do educational projects too, not just directed commercials. I train people on cinematography and all that. But this year I'm also trying to focus on like training even directors, not just people entering the cinematography space.
Yeah.
I'm trying to focus on also training other directors, especially people that are interested in television commercials.
Yeah.
Um, so my next adventure is not filmmaking. After I'm done with television commercials and maybe explore features, it's not filmmaking. Yeah,
Okay.
but I mean, it's still going to be something creative. So
Nice.
I'm still going to be here for a long time.
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned some of these classes that you run. Is that through your shoot, edit, repeat workshop?
Yeah, that's my shoot edit repeat workshop. It has largely been focused on just training people to understand the basic and essence of filmmaking and cinematography in general. But I'm also looking to do like a streamlined phase of that into people that are interested in actually becoming a director. But the entry level, the entrance for that is not going to be open to the general public. It's going to be screened. You have to have done some projects in your life
Yeah.
before you decide to come and enter that class, because I don't just want random people that have no idea what filmmaking is register and say they want to become a director. You need to have explored other things in filmmaking first before you decide and say you want to be a director.
So you are nominated for the Future Award for film.
Yes, I was.
How did you feel when you heard that you were nominated?
To be honest, I was shocked because I mean that's like last year, if I'm right, and I was just like 2-3 years into directing. It's not like I'd done 10 years and like and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm now in this piece, I own this piece. I'm just like still exploring stuff. Um, I'm still like trying to figure out my voice in that space. As at the time I was nominated, so I was shocked. I was like, wow, so people actually see my work beyond social media. Because I mean, when a time and age where you just feel like the only people seeing your work are people on Instagram, but when your work now starts transcending beyond that, and people are now um,
Yeah.
physically now nominating you for awards that like it's not social media awards, it's awards where people will come, and that means your work is transcending beyond just the online space, and that was quite interesting for me. Yeah, I mean my works most times is viewed everywhere on Big Brother Naija, on terrestrial TV platforms and all that, but nobody, to a large extent, nobody cares about a television commercial director. You don't see a television commercial and the first thing that comes to your mind is who directed this, except you're creative. Yeah. So when such thing happen and you're being nominated in a
Yeah.
category that is largely for, when they say filmmaker, most times we don't consider television commercial directors as filmmakers. We most likely consider them as, oh, maybe creative and all that. So when you are now being nominated for a category that is, most of people in that category are like film, like people that do 2 hours content, then it's an amazing experience. It was an amazing experience for me. I can't even lie. It's one of the highlights of my career so far. And I'm looking forward to more interesting nominations, especially in this space where there's no even awards for
Yeah.
creatives that much. Then you now get a nomination for just the few that exist. That's interesting, to be honest.
So, commercials. I think, for commercials, they tend to be like 30 seconds, 1 minute, and you could say that what commercial directors do, it is a bit harder than what filmmakers do, because filmmakers sometimes they have 2 hours, 3 hours to make their point, but for commercial directors, you have
One
to
minute
represent
max.
this whole big idea in a limited amount of time. Yeah. So, like, for you, is it something that's, I mean, you've hacked it, you basically know, like, okay, maybe the brief is looking a bit too broad. Are there times where you're struggling to fit the idea into that 30
Yeah.
seconds or
So
one
firstly,
minute?
I'll first say I'm not sure it is harder for television commercials and film. I'm not sure the right word I would say before they come and drag me and say one director out there is saying that their work Their work is simple. I'm not saying that. I've never said that. In fact, I respect film directors a lot because I can't see myself being on set for that long just for one project. Maybe that's why I've never gone into. I've got like inquiries to come and direct a film and all that. Someone has even told me there's budget on ground. When I'm ready, I should just let them know. But sorry, I can't see myself just being in one long set for that long period of time yet. I'm still young. Let me just explore with this short form content that I'm doing.
Yeah, and this long period of time you're talking about right now is just like maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We're not even talking about months.
If I'm going to go into film, then it can't be 2 weeks. We have to take our time. We have to get it right. Yet, I'm not going to be one of those commercial directors that are releasing projects every month. No, that's not me. I don't see myself as that. Yeah, I don't have an issue with that because the community needs that for it to foster. The industry needs that because if there are no films, nobody's making, because that's even more business savvy than if you are doing one film a year or one film in 3 years. Yeah, but I don't just see myself as that director that would be on set every month trying to create micro projects. Yeah, and so I respect film directors. I have friends that are film directors, and I honestly respect their also. I mean, one of the people I admire in the industry that we have like a little bit talking relationship is, she's not a producer, she's not a director, Jade Sola, and I respect her work. I've had the opportunity to meet quite a number of directors in this space, and I honestly just respect that also. So I won't say it is easier. I won't say it is easier, but I would say directing a television commercial just require the special skills of knowing how to tell story in the shortest possible way and in the fastest possible way. Because at the end of the day, you are trying to tell a story and people must get it. If they don't get it in a film, you can go and do part two, or you can go and try to explain at the end of the film and write, oh, and he got shot and the family remained happily ever after. You cannot do that in television commercial, because in television commercial you are doing two things. You are selling a product and you are telling a story. So you must get those two things. You cannot sell the product and not tell the story well. Nobody will buy it. You must attack the emotions by telling the story, and also infuse the product selling into your story. So you have to know how to tell a story in the shortest possible way first. And that requires you understanding the core of storytelling. What is the core of storytelling? Is it long dialogues or just short dialogues? Is it good aesthetics or just anywhere belly face? So all those things are that's why the budget in commercials are quite heavy. Why? Because just the ambience alone need to have given need to have done like 50% of the storytelling.
Yeah.
Because if that didn't happen, then you are going to confuse everybody, including the products you are trying to sell. So I would say it just requires a special skill of understanding how to tell a short story. And I think filming documentary for the longest time has helped me understand that part of storytelling, because documentary is largely on storytelling. So if you understand that and just understand how to add quality to your storytelling and compress it in the shortest possible way. And the beautiful thing about a story is not just what you add to the story, but what you can take away from the story, and the story still maintains itself. So that's one of the beauty about commercial. It's not about just adding everything that exists, or shooting audio angles that exist in a space. It's about how less is more. I think that's just the summary of it in commercial. Less is more. So what is the least amount of time you can tell the story and it still maintain its essence, and people are not lost in the story and they just get what you're trying to say.
Yeah. What are some of the things you draw inspiration from? Do you get inspired by music, art? What are some of those things?
Yeah, I'm a fan of music a lot. I listen to a lot of music. I don't know if I draw inspiration from it, but I just love music. So what I don't do in movies, I do a lot in music. I explore a lot in music. Yeah, I listen to music a lot, and even more Nigerian music, and one or two foreign music here and there. But I'm a fan of Nigerian music. What else do I draw inspiration from? Just going out and meeting people, to be honest. I like to just explore human relationships, and that alone I draw inspiration from. Then I draw inspiration from reading. So I used to read a lot. I don't read a lot again, but I used to read a lot growing up. So just that reading a lot as gave me some background. And I think one of my biggest inspiration too will be filming weddings. Weddings just opened my eyes to a lot of possibility that things exist. Because I mean, if you're trying to tell a story and you don't know that the story exists, then it's going to be difficult. So filming weddings just put filming weddings and documentary placed me in some rooms that I normally would not be, because I didn't grow up in a wealthy background. We're comfortable. My family my dad had his own house and all that, but it was not like in the prominent part of Lagos and all that. So, but filming weddings gave me opportunity to be in almost all the hotel that exist in Lagos, from the high to the low. So I saw what definition of luxury in this part of the world is firsthand. Filming documentary gave me opportunity to travel to several countries without me buying ticket or getting trying to also for visas myself. Just my camera, and the client is paying for the ticket and visa. So I mean, filmmaking just gave me that opportunity to explore, and that opportunity is what I'm putting back into my craft. The things I've seen and the things I've experienced is what like majorly form how I interpret briefs that I get. Then I try to research a lot. Always on different commercial sites, just checking out what is happening right now. I've probably seen all the Super Bowl commercial that exists since 2020. For all the brands that I'm a sucker for knowledge, so I probably watched all the Super Bowl commercials that exist and just see how they infuse their storytelling. And I also watch like African art, so that I'm not lost in the Western interpretation, that I forget to interpret it in our own culture and way. So I mean, those are things I draw inspiration from every now and then.
Okay. And what documentary subjects do you have an affinity for? Like, what subjects in documentary do you like exploring?
So to be honest, I like brand documentary. I like to do brand documentary, just brand storytelling. I like to explore. I don't like to explore the poverty part of Africa in documentary, because I believe that's not all that we are made of. Yes, that exists. I cannot deny that doesn't exist. It exists, but I believe that there are more African stories that we can tell that is not poverty driven. So I like documentaries that are real, brands, individual. Those are like my core, and just emotional stories. I love that. I love to tell that a lot.
Okay, so you've worked with OctaFX, GT Bank, Cheaper Cash, Piggyvest. The list goes on. Do you have some brands on your wish list? Who do you want to work with? Maybe you can manifest.
Is there? I have two that are top on my wish list. I want to work with Apple, and I want to work with Coke. If I get to work with those two, then I can retire and go to my next creative
venture,
journey or creative endeavor or adventure. But once I work with Apple and Coke, and Nike, those are the top three I want to work with: Apple, Coke, and Nike.
Okay, fingers crossed. Wow. Looking forward to that. The art space, it's kind of a different world from the film industry, but we're kind of interconnected in a way. And as a whole, the industry is moving as one. Every things tend to affect both sides, both the commercial space and the film space. What do you think, as an industry, we need to prioritize? What do we need to improve based on how we do things?
This is a very interesting question, and it is It's good to, I mean, it's an interesting and very, very good question. So what I would say we need to prioritize is, so I mean, I'm really excited at where the industry is right now. Generally, I'm not even saying commercial. Generally, I mean, gone are the days where film with bad pictures will come out of Nigeria.
Yeah.
At least we know that we have good pictures. If we don't have every other thing, we know that we have um we have things equipment at our disposal now. Well, we don't have all, but we have majority of what is required to tell a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what we need to work on as an industry, to be honest, um would be budgeting from my end. The fact that um us as creative, we have to jump from hand to mouth every now and then, and
Yeah.
there's no like, you can't do a project and go and rest till the end of the year, because you literally have to be on the next project to survive.
Yeah.
Like most times I get to work with because I mean I'm a director, I'm not the gaffer, I'm not the grape guy and all that, but I work with people that literally they just finished from a set yesterday, probably like 1 a.m. in the midnight, and they have to resume on my set 6 a.m. the next day. Their level of productivity cannot be 100%.
Yeah.
They cannot function at the maximum capability that exists. So I would say we need to have more budgets that people can take breaks and say, oh, I'm just going to work for 3 months. I'm going to rest for 1 month and come back again and work for 3 months. And not that they need to be on the next project before they can feed their families or before they can, which is what I've been fighting for a lot of time. I'm trying to tell the brands that we need this budget to go up so we can pay these people well. So that when they come and say they are not angry. They are not, because if you pay somebody well, he's excited to do the job.
Yeah.
He's going to give the job his best. And we also need to learn to close early in this part of the world. People are working till 3 a.m. before they go home and resume 6 a.m. on another set. How can they be productive?
Yeah.
It's that thing bothers me a lot, that by 10 p.m. people are still on set trying to shoot a particular scene. I don't want my next production to be like that.
Yeah.
And I'm fighting all my life to get the right budget that it is not like that. But at the end of the day, these people you are fighting for self, they are telling you that why are you fighting for me? Because they are used to the dysfunctional industry.
Yeah.
You get, but we need to fix the budget, let people be able to take breaks off their work. When people can take breaks, more people can come into the industry, and when people see that the industry is lucrative enough, they can come in and fill in those roles. We don't have to rely on just two colorists in the entire space. Why? Because the budgets cannot, people don't see that place is viable enough for them to come in and become, I mean, when we have good budgets, we'll have varieties. People will come in, skills will become better. We'll have more people that can fill in roles. And yeah, the projects will gradually become better. You just see that projects is better. Because these days, people are going on set, they don't even know what the story is. They don't even know what the script is.
Yeah.
They don't even know what the treatment is. They are just coming on set because they want to just collect their daily rates and get out. We cannot have a functional industry like that. We need people that are passionate about a project to come on the project. And why are they passionate about the project? Because they are well paid. They don't have to think about the next project. Why? Because there's health insurance if anything happens to them on set. If things go wrong, if we didn't finish the shoot in one day, there's backup contingency budgets that will fix in for the next day. That all of us can close at 6 p.m. or max 8 p.m. and go and chill and resume again the next day 7 a.m. and film. You get, but when we are working from 6 a.m. to 3 a.m. and we do the next day, and it's like that every day of the week without health insurance, without all these things in place, we're just going to drive each other till we're all crazy and everybody's moving mad.
Yeah.
So at times, all these things are things I see on set, and I just have empathy on people when I see them just working slowly and not working as fast. Because I mean, these guys have literally been on set for like 7 days in a row. How much productivity can you draw out from such a person?
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, those are going to be two things I'll say the industry needs to fix before we now start talking about representation. Because I know a lot of people just jump into saying, "Oh, we need representation and all that." No, we don't need representation yet. Let's fix our structure.
Yeah.
Let's first have a structure that nobody closes their anything after 6 p.m. You are paying people extra money to be on your set. Let's first have that law. As that's a law that anything after 6 p.m. you pay people extra money to be on set, and you have to provide accommodation for them. So all those things are like basic that we need to fix. Then if we fix that, we can now start talking about representation and exporting the brand and all those things that we like to shout a lot.
Okay, nice one. Yeah, how can people keep up with, all the new work you're putting out?
I think I like to share a lot. So, I mean, still be social media until I stop sharing.
Okay.
But for now, I still share a lot of my work on social media. So you can always follow me on all social media platforms. Not all. I'm only active on Instagram and Twitter. I don't know about Facebook or any other one that exists. But I mean, Instagram and Twitter, same handle at Oluwadabest. My website, oluwadabest.com. There will always be my project on my website, even if it's not on Instagram or Twitter. You see it on my website because I mean, that's what I send to my client every now and then. I don't send them my Instagram page.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an influencer. So most times my works are like on my website. You'll see there.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Oluwadabest, for coming on the Naija Filmmaker.
Thanks, boss, for having me.
We have come to the end of this episode. Remember to rate and review the podcast. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SelegoFilm, and the podcast at the Naija Film Pod to share your feedback. You can now support the podcast by visiting the website to donate. See you on the next episode. Have a good one.